England have finally found their new manager after appointing former Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain manager and of course Champions League winner with Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel, as their head coach. Yes, England have appointed a manager that actually knows how to win trophies and has an impressive CV behind him. So does this mean he's going to be the one to finally bring it home and give the England fans what they want, just that winning feeling with the national team? Or have we got another Fabio Capello situation on our hands? Well, I guess only time will tell. But in today's video, we are going to be discussing the appointment at length. And we're also going to be looking at some of the stupid controversy that surrounds the move due to Thomas Tuchel's nationality. So, without any further ado, let's just get into today's video and talk about how insane Thomas Tuchel to England really is. Thomas Tuchel will be the England manager as of the 1st of January 2025, so the start of next year. And despite the fact that he's got a very impressive CV, despite the fact that his last season in management, he did go trophyless with Bayern Munich, which is definitely a stain on your CV, especially with how dominant they've been in German football over the past decade. But nevertheless, he's got a very impressive CV. And most importantly, he's very good at managing a team in tournament football, as seen especially by his time at Chelsea, with him seeming to master cup football, right? But people aren't happy with this appointment. And why are they not happy with this appointment? Well, it's because they believe that the England manager should be English. And hiring a German of all nationalities, a German man being the manager of England is quite frankly a disgrace to these people, right? And I kind of get the sentiment of the England manager should be English, right? Because you'd want somebody that, even if they weren't the manager and even if it wasn't their job, they would be supporting the team if they weren't in that seat. Because it adds an extra sentimental connection to the team, to the nation, and it might even spur you on to want to win more. You look at other countries like Italy and Spain that are known, and France, that are known for having French, Spanish and Italian managers. But what is the difference between these nations that I've just mentioned and England? Well, they produce good managers and England don't. You look at your Roberto Mancini's, your Antonio Conte's, your Maurizio Sarri's, Pep Guardiola, Xavi Alonso, Mikel Arteta. You even look at the Germans like Nagelsmann, Hansi Flick. You look at all of these, Jurgen Klopp, right? You look at all of these managers. Look at all of them. And then you look at England. Who do we have? Eddie Howe, Sean Dyche, Graham Potter, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard. That's who we have at the moment. And I'm not knocking some of these managers. I respect a lot of the stuff that Sean Dyche does at Burnley and now at Everton, but less so at Everton and more at Burnley, because I think Everton are a bit of a disgrace. But, and you look at Eddie Howe, I think what he did at Bournemouth was very impressive. And I think when Newcastle finally balance the books, Eddie Howe will be able to show what he really can do as a top manager. But you look at the levels of those managers compared to Guardiola, Klopp, Mancini, Flick, all of these people, you look at the actual difference in caliber, right? So if you want an English manager, that is fine. It is completely fine to want an English manager to manage a national team. But you would then have to settle for a huge drop in quality. Well, let's look at the past manager, right? The past permanent manager, Gareth Southgate. Let's look at his qualifications, his CV, compared to Thomas Tuchel now, right? Let's just look at that. Let's just think about that for a second. And then let's look at Thomas Tuchel compared to Sean Dyche and Eddie Howe and Graham Potter and Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard. Let's look at Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea after taking over from Frank Lampard's Chelsea. And I think that's all that's all that has to be said, really. There is a huge contrast in what Tuchel can bring to the team and what Tuchel has achieved in the past compared to what any of the English managers that are active at the moment have. Let's think about it. Tuchel won the Bundesliga 2 seasons ago in 2023. He won the Champions League in 2021 and he won the Super Cup in 2022, right? All very recent achievements. The last time an English manager won a major trophy, so something in like a Premier League or a League Cup or something in Europe, right? The last time that was done was Harry Redknapp with Spurs in 2008. Was the last time an English manager won a major competition, if I am correct in recalling that. 2008. And people expect us to hire an English manager just because it's English and we'll go with the culture. Like, come on, man. Like, let's be so real. You want to be a serious nation, and you were tired of English, Gareth Southgate, the English manager. You were tired of his negative football and his defeatist attitude, right? So now we've hired a winner. We've hired somebody that in his time at Chelsea made 3 cup finals, winning the Champions League in 2021 against Manchester City, and losing the FA Cup and the League Cup in 2022 to Liverpool. Right? He's made 3 finals. That's one more than Southgate did for England. And he's won a trophy. And he won the biggest one out of all of those finals, compared to the 0 that Southgate won. So this guy's a winner. Tuchel is a winner. Right? Like it or not, Tuchel's a winner. He might not play the most exciting football, but he gets results. And he knows how to manage a team in cup football, in tournament football. But you don't want him because he's German and not English. But we just had an English manager, and you didn't want him because he wasn't a winner and he wouldn't go for the kill. Like, can we make our minds up? Can we actually make our... As a nation, can we make our minds up on what we want? Because if you want an English manager, you're not getting any success. Because I do not believe that there is an English manager active in football right now that is winning you anything. Scratch that. I don't even think there is not a British manager that is active right now that is winning you anything. You look at British managers, right? No, not even just English. We look at British as a whole. The only ones I could think that have had success in any recent years at the top level: Brendan Rodgers, FA Cup win with Leicester; David Moyes, Conference League win with West Ham. And maybe you can throw in Gerrard's Scottish League title with Rangers, right? You can maybe throw that in there. So that's 3. Okay, that's 3. But were they successful long term? No. The one you'd have to go back to is Sir Alex at Man United as a British manager. So not even just English managers, but British managers have not been great in the past few years. So if you want an English manager or even just a British manager, you'd have to sacrifice the results and the style of football, right? And you'd have to settle for mediocrity, which we clearly aren't willing to do after the absolute disgrace of Roy Hodgson being manager, and then the iffy sort of Gareth Southgate tenure, right? We're clearly not happy to settle for mediocrity, and we shouldn't, and we should not be happy to settle for mediocrity. But if you want an English coach, that is what you're going to get: mediocrity. But if you want to win, you have to sacrifice that national pride and being led into battle by someone of a different nationality. With this case being German, which is probably what hurts the most, given the footballing history and the political history between, obviously, the two countries. So, you know, that is really it, really. That's your 2 options. And I don't care. I don't care. Like, as someone that's, like, not even fully English, I don't care about the manager's nationality. Like, if I'm not fully English, why should I care about someone else's nationality in the England, like, national team? I don't care. And even if I was fully English, I wouldn't care anyway. It's not that big of a deal. It's genuinely not that big of a deal. And if you're upset about it, then you might have to reevaluate your life, unfortunately. But moving on from the controversy, Will he succeed? That is the big question. Will he succeed? He's got the ability and he's got the CV to back it up, that he has everything that he needs to succeed. But will he succeed? Is it coming home, or is Tuchel just going to do the Capello route and just absolutely capitulate as England manager and not show any of what made him a great manager? And the answer is, I don't know. I would have to see the first international break, whether that be Nations League, World Cup qualifiers, or just international friendlies. I'll have to see the team he sets out with and his approach to the games to know whether he's going to succeed or not. Because yes, he has all of the history to back it up, but I need to know if he can do it with these players. And I'm not buying into the hype, and I'm not getting in over my head and going, it's coming home, it's coming home. Tuchel won the Champions League with Chelsea, and that Chelsea team wasn't even that great. I actually think Tuchel probably worked miracles to win that Champions League with Chelsea, which gives me a bit more hope that he might have some success with England. But just because he did it with Chelsea, just because he did it with Bayern, to an extent, and just because he did it with PSG, to an extent, does not mean that he will do it with England. So I will wait and see. I do hope that he can he can finally win England and made a trophy again. And I do think he's the best option out of all of the people that were available. And I am quite optimistic to see what he will do for the upcoming World Cup and the upcoming friendlies as a whole. But I'm not buying into the hype yet. I need to see how he sets up the team and how the team plays football under him. But you know, with all that being said, please do leave your thoughts down below on the Tuchel appointment, whether you think it's a disgrace for him not to be English. And if that is what you think, please tell me why. I would like an actual detailed reason as to why you think that. And also let me know down below if you think England will succeed with Tuchel as manager, or you think it's just going to be another flop and England are just destined to not win anything, same way that Tottenham Hotspur are destined to not win anything. But with all that being said, please do like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, especially if my videos keep coming up in your recommended. Subscribe to the channel. It really does, it really does help me out, and it literally just takes 2 seconds out of your day. And obviously, if there's the first video on you're watching, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel. You will not be disappointed, and it might even further encourage you to subscribe to their channel. But with all that being said, I have been Nathan, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Shut down cases, they belly dots to the can't see faces, chasing the bad guy chase it. You don't wanna be the one like Ace and like G-Take trying to turn them out wasted. Aye, tell a bad bitch come break it, body come mad, come shake it, then get back to the basics, bro done shut down cases, they belly dots to the